Well, Angel Intuitive is a class that Doreen Virtue runs. And so she basically tells you what angels are and how you can work with them for guidance and also healing with other people. But I think, for that, we need to kind of then define what an angel is, because the word gets thrown around quite a bit. But what is an angel? And what I feel an angel is a being created purely out of love and light that has never been on earth before. So it can't necessarily then be, our grandmother or our loved ones, but instead this is a being that hasn't been physically here before. But I think then we have our spirit guides. Now spirit guides certainly could be people that we've known from this lifetime, but the thing with us as humans is we all have an ego, right? So we have this ego within us, and we have that voice inside our head that tells us things like we're not good enough and you can't do this and you shouldn't do that. But angels, on the other hand, don't have that ego. They're completely egoless. So the only thing they want to see for you is absolute success.
We're talking about angels and spirit guides. Mm-hmm. Do you talk to them differently? How do you know you've got an angel and not a spirit guide?
Well, I think they talk differently. So the angels come through with these really beautiful, loving messages, and spirit guides talk just like we are.
And so there could be three voices. It could be the angels, it could be a spirit guide, and it could be the ego.
Yep, it's a whole conversation going on at once, and then it'll often jump, to different things. Like I'll sort of see them as different energy levels. So it's like we've got our deceased loved ones a little higher than us, and then we've got our spirit guides, and then we've got our angels. So it's sort of like this sensation of being in an elevator. So during the course of a reading, you've got someone's deceased loved ones coming in, and now their angels pipe up, so it kind of lifts you up a little bit, and then we're back down to their spirit guides, and it sort of takes you down a notch, and it's kind of this to and fro thing, but it's fun.
Robert, a hypothetical situation. Mm-hmm. I have a question.
Yep.
Who would be the best one to answer that question? Mm-hmm. Would it be a deceased loved one, a spirit guide, or an angel? Mm-hmm. And which one would I necessarily trust a spirit guide if it was a deceased loved one who I didn't necessarily trust when they were here?
Yes, good question. Well, I think it depends on what the question is, So I think if it's about, how could I make my cookies taste better, then yeah, sure, we might go to grandma. But if it's more, should I throw in the towel with my career and move overseas? It's like that's something I'd go to the angels for. Because, as I said, when we're going sort of up in these energy levels, it's like the angels can see everything. So they know why you're here, they know your purpose, they know the path that's coming up ahead. But our spirit guides can only see a little further. So they still know more than we do, but they don't know the full picture just yet. So depending on the question depends on who I'm going to. So if someone comes in and they're talking about, life purpose or relationships and love life, then I'm going right up to the top. I want to hear what the angels have to say. But if it's more sort of grounded earth-based things, then I might go to the spirit guides, So it's like, how could I look better? What clothes are best for this person, or what kind of car should they have? And this kind of stuff. It's more spirit guides.
Could you have the same question answered by three?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So you just keep going up?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And they may all be different?
They're usually the same, but they're usually differently worded. So again, the deceased loved ones, as you said, if you didn't trust them in this life, then the thing is that they're still the same personality, just they don't have a body anymore. So they might be just as confusing and irritating as they were when they were living. Whereas if we go up to the spirit guides, then we're getting a bit more information. They're kind of telling us things in, normal language that we understand. But then we go up to the angels, and then they talk about, these deeper meanings. It's like, well, yes, you could go down this path, but this is what's going to happen, and then this is how you're going to feel. Yeah.
When you were younger, I know when you were a boy,
yep.
You discovered angels. Mm-hmm. How did you discover angels?
Well, I first encountered them, I felt them around me, but I felt to begin with the spirit guides more. So I felt, deceased loved ones and spirit guides around me. And then I think as my energy became higher, that's when the angels started to interact with me more. And in truth, they were always there. They were always there working with me, connecting with me and bringing through messages. But it wasn't until I kind of got my own energy at that higher level that I could hear them now. And so once I did, it's like I've never looked back, because having that high energy of the angels around me, it's all the protection I need. It's like one thing they've taught me is that there's nothing that the darkness fears more than the light. So angels are just these bright lights. It's like flicking the light switch on in a room. So the more angels we have around us, the less fear energy can surround us.
So you say the more angels, if you're walking somewhere or going to a meeting you may feel a bit nervous about,
Yep.
Would you maybe request or feel that you've got 4 angels with you as you're walking in?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think as well there's different categories of angels, just to confuse things. I think there's like this group we call common angels. So this is an infinite supply, and the thing with the angels is we're not taking them away from other people. So you said 4 angels, I might call on 100. I might ask for 1,000 angels to be with me. Or, if there's things going on in the world, I might send, 1,000,000 angels to, one certain section. Because again, the more light we have there, the more love we have. But then we've also got our own personal guardian angels. And these are kind of contracted to us from birth. So as I said, they know everything that is going to happen, and they know the path that's going to be the smoothest for us to take. But then we also have archangels, which are like the managers. So these guys kind of run the show, and they're a bit bigger, a bit stronger than some of the regular angels. Like Archangel Michael is a popular one, and also Archangel Raphael, our healer.
Okay, let's go back to the course you did with Doreen Virtue. What led you to do that specific course, and why Doreen Virtue?
Well, originally, the reason I thought I was going to do this was just to figure out how to use the oracle cards. Because Doreen's really well known for the different card decks that she's brought out. And at the time, I thought I was just going there to learn how to use the cards better. I was already playing with them, using them in readings, but I thought, maybe there's extra things that I could learn from this. And as soon as I get in the door, I'm like, I love this angel stuff. It's like I thought initially, maybe, this isn't going to be for me. Maybe the angel healing side of things is just something I'll sit on the shelf. But really what happened was that became the main part. So I really got more passionate about connecting with the angels and the healing energies that they can bring.
Thanks very much, Robert.
Thank you.